Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and this has been way too long for me to get to this review, but I'm finally ready to do my full review on the Vault case. Vault sent this to me directly to review, which I super appreciate, so I'm going to link down below to Vault in the description. It was super generous of them to provide this to the channel for me to review, and I unboxed this quite a long time ago, and I've been waiting, I guess, to just have the right amount of experiences with it to feel like I could really talk about it from a place of experience and not just like first impressions you on it. So yeah, I've had this for I think a couple of months now, and in those couple of months, not only have I used it quite a few times to take stuff like out on hikes to shoot stuff on, which has been less frequent lately. I really want to get back into that groove, but life. And then I've used it on a couple of trips. So like we went to Utah, we went on a little like camping trip, glamping trip thing not too long ago. We've done some hotel stays. And so I've used this quite a bit for traveling with EDC gear, and that's been great. So I can talk about this now from not just like sticking stuff in it at my desk and seeing how it fits, but from actually using it on the go in like a traveling type of setting, which is where I see this frankly fitting. So this is designed for EDC gear. At the moment, I actually still have a couple of things left in here. I've taken most things out because I've been doing filming with them today, but you can see you've got these panels in here that Velcro in, and on each panel you can put gear. They've got these little elastic kind of Molly style straps, right? And then you can move these panels around in here if you want as well. You can put different ones in different places, but this still has my birch tree bottle opener in here as well. You can see these are bigger slots, if you will, which is nice. There's different varying sizes. So you've got this back panel, which has this mesh protecting it with these two little panels that can stick in. Then you've got this kind of divider panel, which you can stick a bunch of knives or lights or pries, whatever, across. And then you lift up this one, and you've got this divider just to keep gear safe from each other, right? And then on the back side, you've got two more big panels. And again, these have wider than these top ones did. So all of these on the ends can pop out. These dividers can be swapped around as well. These just Velcro in on these flaps. So you can really play with the configuration on here, and I've been impressed so far. One thing that I've found, I think before I got one of these, not having handled one, I thought it would be like, I don't know, I was worried stuff would kind of bang around in there, and it doesn't. But the way to make it not bang around in here so much is, honestly, these, I thought it was going to be pretty easy while these were in the case to be sliding knives in and out of, and it's not impossible. It's not the biggest deal. The one at the top with the mesh can be kind of the most difficult to get in and slide stuff, but what I've found in using it is just pull the panels out, put the stuff you want into them, and then pack the panels into the case. That makes it super easy because you can literally just take a folder with a clip on it, or a pen, or a light, or whatever, and I like to just stick the clip on, which is kind of step one. You can see it's still flapping around on there though. So then you just take one of these loops that kind of line up toward the bottom of it, or in the middle of it, whatever you want, and you slide that over it, and then boom. This thing is not really going anywhere in here. So I can put 3 folders on this panel, or a folder and a light and a pry or whatever. Anything with clips, or even stuff without clips, because I can just shove it through these loops and it totally works. So yeah, the versatility of being able to use these panels, move them around, take them in and out, load stuff onto them, pack them in, it's worked out really, really well for me. Especially because like, if I'm traveling just for a couple of days, right? It doesn't really make sense for me to bring like one of my knives live in some cutlery shop, cut club knife cases. I have the 40 slot and I have the 20 slot. I keep kind of my more premium end of the collection in the 20 slot, and I keep the rest and plus my loaners in the 40 slot. And if I'm going on a trip for a couple of days, I don't need to bring 20 knives. Sometimes I do. if I'm being totally honest, just because depending on where I'm going, if I'm going with friends or whatever, I might meet up with some knife buddies, then yeah, I want to bring some stuff. So like on my Utah trip, I brought this and my 20 slot knife case, which was perfect because I met up with some knife buddies and we talked about each other's collections and all that. But if I'm just going somewhere with my wife and daughter and it's just a quick weekend trip or whatever, this is more than enough space for me to bring options of a couple of primary folders, a couple of secondary folders. I can bring flashlights, I can bring pens, I can also like semi-loosely tuck in like a journal, stuff like that, so I'll have somewhere to write, something to write with, a light, a pry. I've put Bic lighters, a Zippo lighter, bottle openers, all kinds of EDC gear. Is just kind of like, this is designed to handle it, and that's really, really nice. So if I can pack up a couple of panels with a few large folders, a few small folders, all those odds and ends that I want to have with me, then this becomes really, really handy to take on a trip like that. And it's also much smaller, much more portable than those like big hard shell cutlery shop cut club knife cases, because even though those are designed to travel, they're larger because they are designed to like specifically slot 20 knives, right? This is still a relatively hard shell, although it's not like actual hard plastic. It's got a little bit of give to it. So I can easily toss it in a bag and not worry about it. Everything stays put because it's all notched in or strapped into those spots, and I can lock it, which is really nice. I'm going to not lock it at the moment because I don't want to show you my code, but if you watch my unboxing, you'll have seen these zippers just pop into those slots, and it's got a 3-digit code. Also comes with a key, and yeah, you can just literally press that in and unlock it. But I think from what I saw when I opened this and in their like marketing, these are actually like, you can take these on planes. I assume in your checked luggage, not in your carry-on, if you've got knives and stuff in it, but you're allowed to lock things like for airlines in this. Yeah, it even says TSA 007 on this lock. So that's pretty cool. If I am ever flying somewhere, which I haven't in quite a while flown anywhere, but if I do, that's great to know that in my checked bag, I can put some gear I would also want locked personally. I can lock it in here and then it's good to go in that checked luggage. So not only that, but also externally. So not only do you have the lock and you've got this kind of flat face up here, just branded Vault, but on the back side, these have a disassembly tray. So if on the fly you're working on knives, which another thing I've put in here, I should have mentioned as well, is a bit or a bit driver and some bits. Sometimes that's like my Vero Mini Fulcrum or Fulcrum Mini with the bits so that I can just do stuff like that. Typically those are my fanny pack though, but I've got a couple of nicer drivers now. I've got one of those old like Benchmade blue box bit driver things that's great for traveling. I like to have that stuff on me. And so if I make sure that I bring stuff that I can work on knives, this now gives me a surface to do it on. If I do need to disassemble something, take something apart, this is super handy because you've got these slots here where you can set stuff in. You're not going to lose your screws. You just put them in these little spots, and you can organize stuff as you're working on it, and it just creates a good surface to work on. I've even done one of my disassemblies or something on this. I forget which video it was, but yeah, I used this even just here at the table to see how I liked it, and it worked great. It's super, super handy, and it just seems, I don't know, seems like a no-brainer, but I wouldn't have thought to do this, I don't think. The fact that they added this feature in on this space that would have just been blank anyways is really an intelligent touch, I think. So I like that. I think it works really well. And yeah, the panels, being able to remove them, put stuff in and out easily, move stuff around, it functions really like seamlessly, fluidly. I don't know how to best say that. It's easy to use, it's easy to figure out, and it's secure, I think is also like the biggest thing probably for people like me who, like, sometimes if I'm putting a couple of folders and some nice pens and stuff in here, it could be a serious amount of money that I'm putting into a backpack. And this is just such an intelligent way to keep it all safe from each other, from clanging around and stuff, and to not take up more space than it really needs to. And it's got functionality built in to the item itself, and it's it's great. I honestly really, really like it. Would I recommend one of these for your like at-home storage, for like what you're going to keep on your dresser to put your knives in or whatever? Probably not so much, because it can be like you got to pull the panel out, put the knife in. Whereas if you've got like a slotted case, you're just setting things in and pulling them out. I do think that's better for like at-home type of storage. But in terms of like a travel case for gear like this, for EDC gear specifically, this is pretty unbeatable. At least, not only that I've experienced, because this is really kind of the only one that I've experienced, but like from what I've seen, I haven't seen any options more compelling than this to travel with your EDC gear. And it's been nice too, because before having this, I literally, like, if I was going hiking with a bunch of knives to shoot, putting that stuff in my hiking backpack with my camera and my mic and all this stuff, it was sometimes a little bit nerve-wracking, because like the best way for me to pack knives a lot of the time was to like wrap each one individually in a handkerchief or something, and then put those into like a bag or a pouch or a case. Sometimes I was using like a hard shell like gun case that was bigger than it needed to be and didn't store them that efficiently. It was like, I was always worried if I was to like trip and fall on my hike or something, if I was to like take a hit, if everything would shuffle around in there and end up clanging against each other. And with this, I just don't feel that. I have the ability to pack things in here in such a way that I just feel really confident that it's going to hold them well. And in fact, on the way to Utah, I had all the car packed up like the night before, and then the morning of, all that I brought from in the house into the car, because we left at like 4 a.m. I think. I just had my one backpack ready to go that had my camera, my laptop, this case, and then I grabbed my 20 slot knife case. I carried that separate because it didn't fit in the backpack. So I had those things to grab. And on one of our first stops, my wife opened the trunk, and I guess the pack had shifted during the drive, and she just opened it quick and wasn't like ready for anything. And the one bag that fell was the backpack that had my camera and this and my laptop and everything that was actually like valuable to me in it. And the thing that was like, that took the hit based on how the bag landed was this. It was inside the bag, and honestly, it was perfectly fine, and everything that was in it was perfectly fine. So I've specifically, like, there's a testimonial for you. I don't know how else to say that. It was relieving that when I pulled this stuff out of my backpack to check it, not only was my camera fine, which was deeper in the pack and like kind of in a sweatshirt inside of a hard shell case, which was nice, but that this, which kind of took the impact and had some really nice knives in it, was fine. That's really, really nice that it withstood that, because I would have had a much harder day and rougher trip altogether if it had started out with some of my knives getting damaged or ruined. So anyway, this thing is sweet. I really, really like it. I, again, will link down below to Vault Case, and check them out if you haven't. I've seen they've also been teasing like some different colors of these and some cool stuff. I know they've done some collaboration ones. I think they did one with like the Knife Nuts podcast guys, and they do some really cool stuff over there, and they're very EDC focused. That's like what these are built for, which is nice. You're not just buying some case that you're hoping you can fit your knives in, or that you'll have to modify. Like, this is designed to take your knives, your pens, your lights, and your prise, and all that stuff, and to fit it well. And it does. So anyway, thanks for checking it out, guys. We'll see you on the next one.